I am 103 years old. And if you're listening to me right now, you are richer than you think.
I am 103 years old, and if you're listening to me right now, you are richer than you think. Not because of your money, not because of your career, not because of your plans, but because you are still here, breathing, hearing, existing inside a moment that has not yet slipped away. I have lived through wars, recessions, black and white televisions turning into glowing screens that never turn off. I've watched horses disappear from streets and rockets leave the planet. I have buried 3 husbands. I have buried a child. I have buried friends whose laughter still echoes in rooms that no longer exist. And after 103 years, I need to tell you something no one told me when I was young. You are wasting your life, not dramatically, not intentionally, but quietly, daily, almost politely. And I didn't understand that until I was 33 years old. It was 1955, October air, cool and crisp. My husband kissed me before work that morning, like he always did. His name was Robert. He smelled like soap and steel and coffee. He told me he'd be home early. We were supposed to go dancing that Saturday. I had already laid out my dress. He never came home. There was an accident at the mill. They told me it was quick. They always say that. Quick, as if that word is a blanket that makes grief softer. What they don't tell you is this. When someone dies suddenly, they take unfinished conversations with them. They take your unsaid apologies, your delayed affection, your "I'll tell him tomorrow." Tomorrow left with him. That night, sitting at the kitchen table after the house went silent, I made a vow. I said, I will never waste another day. And I meant it. But here is the truth that took me 76 more years to understand. Intentions fade, pain softens, urgency dissolves, and human beings forget. I hugged my children tighter for a while. I said, I love you more often. But eventually, dishes still needed washing, bills still needed paying, work demanded attention. The world pulled me back into routine. I remarried. His name was Charles, a kind, patient man. We had 42 years together, and my greatest regret from those 42 years is not the arguments. It's the ordinary evenings I treated as disposable. The times he asked, "Want to sit outside for a bit?" And I answered, "Maybe later." Later is the most dangerous word in the English language. Later is where dreams go to die. Later is where relationships slowly thin out. Later is where presence is postponed until it disappears. I lost my son, William, in 1987, cancer. He was 45. I was sitting beside his hospital bed when he apologized to me. He said, I'm sorry I didn't visit more. Can you imagine that? A dying child apologizing for not calling enough? We both believed there would be more time. That is the lie youth whispers into your ear. You have plenty. No, you don't. You have now. That's it. Now. At 103, I don't fear death. My body is tired. It has carried me across a century. It has done enough. What I fear is that you will live the way I did for decades, distracted, preoccupied, half present. You think the big days matter most. Weddings, promotions, anniversaries. They are beautiful, but when you reach my age, they are not what visit you at night. It's the Tuesday afternoon you brushed off your husband because you were tired. It's the Sunday call you ignored because you weren't in the mood. It's the moment your granddaughter tried to tell you about her day and you were scrolling instead of listening. I have a great-great-granddaughter. She sits beside me sometimes, her face lit by a small glowing screen. I don't scold her. I was no better in my own way. My distractions just looked different. But one day I will not be in that chair, and she will remember that she was looking down instead of at me, and that memory will sting, not because she was cruel, but because she was unaware. That's how life is wasted, not through evil, through unconsciousness. If I could speak to my 33-year-old self, the woman sitting in that kitchen after Robert died, I wouldn't tell her to be perfect. I would tell her this: you will forget. You will drift. You will start believing you have time again. So your job is not to never waste a day. Your job is to notice when you are wasting one and return. Return to the room. Return to the person in front of you. Return to the conversation. Return to the present. Again and again. In 103 years, I have lived roughly 37,000 days. Do you know how many I remember clearly? Very few. The ones I remember are the days I was fully there, when I listened, when I touched someone's hand and didn't rush away, when I chose presence over productivity. Everything else blurs. Your life will blur too. That promotion you're killing yourself for? Blur. The argument you're holding on to? Blur. The money you're chasing? Blur. But the quiet breakfast with your mother, the walk with your spouse when you actually paid attention, the moment you forgave instead of proving a point, those stay. I am 103, and here is what 103 years has carved into my bones. You do not need more time. You need more awareness of the time you already have. Call your grandmother. Sit with your father without correcting him. Hold your partner's hand even if you've done it 10,000 times. Because one day you will try to remember the last time you did, and you won't know when it was. That is the pain I cannot protect you from, unless you listen now. Do not wait for tragedy to wake you up. Do not wait for illness to teach you tenderness. Do not wait until the house is quiet and the chair across from you is permanently empty. You think you have years. You have moments, and moments are fragile. If I could leave you with one sentence after 103 years of breathing, loving, losing, and learning, it would be this: later never arrives, only now does, and now is already leaving.